story. I also want to just talk about breadcrumbs in general because there's so many other things happening that aren't quite news yet, but are interesting to talk about. And to kick it off, I wanted to play a clip. And this is a clip that might haunt me. I don't know. We'll find out. But on episode, I believe it was 118, I remember that I was sharing with everybody that I had been contacted by an anonymous source high up in the Hedera ecosystem that would know these things. And they shared with me, and this episode came out in March, right? So keep that in mind, March this year. And they shared with me that in May, we would have a new institutional access point launched, which I believe turned out to be BlackRock. I didn't get a confirmation from the source on this, but it makes sense. I mean, and they specifically stated that that news would move the price of HBAR. So obviously move the price of HBAR. BlackRock through RCAX is definitely a major institutional access point. And again, that's how I define it. So I think that it would probably add to the credibility of that source. Unfortunately, as we know, some of the BlackRock news was fumbled a little bit in regards to the announcement and the reaction to it and everything. So I think that all in all, I think that I like the quality of the source. And again, it's anonymous. I'm not going to go into who they are, but the other thing that they said was regarding Q3 right now. So I kind of want to flip back and forward in time a little bit. And I want to play a clip from the episode where I shared the next thing that we have yet to see unfold. So let's take a look at this. It's substantial enough to do that. That's what I've inferred from our conversation. Now, the other piece to this is the sources said there is a monster use case dropping in Q3 if all stays on schedule. That was all the detail provided. And I mean, it's very in line with it. It doesn't feel like breaking news that there's information like this, but what it does do is I hope it provides the community some kind of confluence to other information we've had, and kind of other things that we've seen folks talk about. And so this is a kind of a confirmation of that yes, Q3, there is a monster use case dropping. I think the main question immediately in my mind is, okay, so I think about a monster use case. Obviously, the direct analog to that is Atma.io, right? The use case that's driving, throughput on the network, right? The definition of a monster use case so far is, 1500 TPS. So the question in my mind when it comes to this, the information the source gave me is, is this going to be a subsidized use case? Or is this going to be the first major use case that is kind of, powered under its own? So that clip, I wanted to bring it up because we've entered Q3 now, right? Q3 is July, August, September. And so for me, I look at that clip and I go, okay, I hope that it doesn't come to bite me in the ass because I know I'm putting the kind of reputation of the show on the line with these kinds of anonymous sources. No, this is actually great. I was actually thinking about this. What if I could interview myself? That'd be fantastic. That'd be a first. Maybe if I get like an AI version or like upload my consciousness when the singularity happens, we'll have to see. But yeah, I would recommend it. Yeah. King Solomon, interview yourself. Yeah, and that clip from March talking about what the source shared with me and in regards to Q3, we're in Q3 now, monster use case. And it just kind of gets you thinking, to be honest, right? I know that we're going to talk about Deloitte. We've talked about what, Chainlink. Last episode, we talked about like what they're rolling out and that they're going to be shipping to Hedera. So there are things happening, but do I think that monster use case is currently exposed or is a breadcrumb in any way? I don't know. Like, I don't think that any of the things that have gone live so far would qualify as that monster use case. And again, we don't know what the definition of, monster use case is really. And that's how it was described to me, quote, monster use case. So for me, I think that it is kind of just a waiting game, but I do think there is a little bit of a pattern playing out. And we'll just kind of have to see. But I want to kind of highlight that, put it back in people's minds. And I think that, again, July, August, and September, once we get into September, I'm going to start to get a little nervous, to be honest. So we'll have to see.